It is now the 30th of September, and we're going to do a walk here in the conservation area, which is next to our house. And don't do this walk very often anymore since my dog Reese passed last winter, and just a little too lonely. But we're going to do it today and see what we can find. Color's just starting, and had a whole bunch of blackbirds in our backyard, some grackles actually. Must have been 50. Must be a flock going through. So, off for our walk. When I was a kid, this woods all belonged to some neighbors out of the States in New Hampshire. And originally it was part of a farm by one of the local farmers. And their grandmother was the farmer's daughter, who met their grandfather, who was up here doing fishing at a fishing lodge from the US. And when they got married, the family gave them this big parcel of land along the lake. Well, the developers were after him, and the son, when he had it, and he didn't want the developers to get a hold of it, so he donated it to the local conservation area, the area conservation area. So it's now like a small park. No camping or anything in it, but it's just walking trails. It's all hardwoods, mostly maples. And in the springtime, this whole area here that I'm walking through right now is nothing but trilliums, blankets of trilliums. Mostly whites, but quite beautiful. I'd rather walk without the walking stick, but I can trip so easy on rocks or old sticks or anything anymore as I get older, so it's nice to have. It saves me a few times. Yeah, this is the road that goes through the conservation area to a man's home. It's the old cottage road, but of course it's their private road now. We're just going to walk down the road. Let's check out the pond down here. Well, it's now October the 1st, and we're going to try to continue on with our walk like I started yesterday. However, I got about this far and I had an emergency back at the house that I had to return to the house for. But turned out to be nothing serious, and I just decided today I'll come and see if I can complete the walk. So here we go. Hey guys.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? How are you? Over in the conservation area again, like yesterday. Just met a couple of cute dogs and a couple out walking. They're a young couple, and they had two dogs. One's about 4 years old and the other's maybe about 1. Yeah, and they said they like to stagger them about 4 years apart, and that way they have company and they're never without a dog. Nice people. They both dogs come running to me to say hi, of course, but they were much too busy investigating and sniffing everything. coming down the hill toward the pond here. Normally I would walk with Reese the other direction, so we'd be coming back along this road instead of heading out, but this is just a little different perspective of it. I thought that might be kind of fun. A neighbor of mine said that on Friday, I guess, they were over here. Oh, there's some color right up there. Kind of nice. That they said that they were driving by Blackpool here, the pond here. That's the road just across the pond where the cars drive in there now. There were 4 swans on the pond here, but nothing today. I've heard some geese, but they must be back into the swampy area there to the right. And there's some color up there for sure. Yeah, nice color. More down there on the road we just came out of. Yeah, we'll continue on our walk. Go up this way. This is where Reese and I would always come out. 9 times out of 10 we rarely went down any further to the long, what I used to call the long loop. This is the pond loop. It's a sign there that faces the conservation area, faces the lake and the canal system, and says basically what this is a conservation area, and it says no overnight camping and stuff like that. Usually there's a bunch of fishermen fishing right off this area, but not today. Sadly, there are still pigs among us, as you can see. A lot of garbage and stuff left around, which is nuts. People should be able to clean up after themselves, but that's just me. And here we go back along my favorite little path. It's the trees. I always thought, even as a kid, I'd play over in here with my BB gun when this was private property. And with our friends. And this was always a nice path. Used to go from the old cottage to a tennis court that they had built way down their property line here. And of course I was friends with the kids. And I always thought this little path was very pretty, running along the side of the canal and the lake. Yeah, now the original path went down that way and right along the lake, really close by the lake, and it would go over to the old cottage, which is now a permanent home. And this is basically just a loop now, which runs along the lake and then comes back and meets this path, which the conservation area made when they took it over. So we'll just go back this way. It's a little easier walking. Takes me back to the road we were just on. But it's still a pretty little walk through the trees. You can see the leaves are all getting more of a yellowy tinge now than the deep lush green they used to have in the spring. And this is the path that area I was just talking about. This is where it would bring you out on this path here, and going up, and we end up going back to the road. Here's where we came out. I came out of that path right there onto the road, and we started this this portion of the walk on the video right about here. So I'm just going to do a quick jaunt down this way and take what I used to call the pond loop home. See how that goes. Now this one's more hilly, this path here, and haven't been on this path since before Reese died last March, so a bit emotional. Haven't done this one before. Used to be these logs here were blocking this, and she used to go around them, but they've been cut. So oh, here come the pups again. Hi. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, get out of there.
Oh. Yeah. Now this path wasn't here when I was a kid. This was actually bulldozed through by the conservation area when they first took over the property. You might be able to see that just through those trees there is the pond. You can kind of see it over there through that break in the trees. So this runs along the side of the pond. Working our way up the hills here because it gets high after a while. We never took it too much because, especially in the winter, the hills would get icy. But we take it more often than not. Maybe, the other loop that we were on, we'd do 4 or 5 times to every one time we'd come this way. Yeah, this area here, again, like I said, I think on yesterday's segment, especially over here in the spring, May time frame, the trilliums, blanket of trilliums. Look at all the little fungus here on this old log. Don't usually see that much on a single old log. Yeah, you can really smell the wood smoke. the water down there below the where we've climbed up to the partway up the hill here, just on the path. You can see the water down below there. It's October 1st and there's still mosquitoes out here. Here we come up to the last hill section on this path. You can kind of see how high it goes there up to the top of the hill. Now, over that way, not very far, just above that little grassy knoll, there are a bunch of old fox and coyote dens dug into the hill, all abandoned. Haven't seen them used in a while, but there's got to be 5, 6 of them in a fairly close area over there that had been used over the years. I found them a couple of years ago, and just going to walk up the hill here. Of course, if Reese was with me, she'd have been over in that area, paralleling me. Surprised, my shoulder's actually doing pretty good on this walk. I'm using my walking stick in my left arm, which seems to be doing better now. This little area here was a cut through to the field behind us, and she would always go over there. That log there, right there. Used to call it the log hop. She'd just jump over that, she'd go up on top and then off over the other side. It was always something I would watch for and was always pleased to see her do it, because it told me her legs were still in pretty good shape. There's a big burl on that tree. Now this tree came down a couple of years ago, blocked the path there that you can see. So I started breaking a new path this way that would just go underneath this. I call it the dragon's head. As you can see, it looks like a snake's head or a dragon's head. And first few times Reese would follow me, and then she learned that this was the way to go, and she knew all about it. Remembered every time we'd come this way. And here we are back to where we were yesterday morning. And we started off going down that path in that direction. So if we take this back, it takes us back to the house. So, well, that's the end of our walk. I finished yesterday's walk, no problem. So, I'm going to turn this off now and back to the house I go.